are you?
I'm doing okay, mostly because I saw your movie, your short film.
Oh, that's great. That's
It
good.
absolutely was. And I'm just well, first things first, just give me like the timeline. When did you have this idea and when did you meet with Disney and what was that like?
Yeah. We applied. Well, the whole program was expanded a bit, obviously, because of COVID, and production got pushed. So it ended up being an entire year through and through from, applying and getting into the program. And then finally at the end now, we're just a little over a year from where we first started and sort of met one another. So it's been quite a journey, but I think, partially because this happened, because, COVID happened, we all got so close and bonded so much through it and really just shared this experience together, everyone involved and all the other filmmakers and I.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what was there any kind of crossover with the other films? Like, did you get to like meet with them and share notes and be like, "I'm doing this," and they're like, "I'm gonna steal that."
Not in that way, but we did build quite a community. We all met at the beginning, and that was really special. We had classes together, and we ended up doing a story trust with one another, where we bring our scripts to each other and give each other notes and feedback, and really just we all knew what each other wanted to say in the stories, and I think we all helped the scripts just elevate that much more. And through the entire production, obviously each of us had our own stories that we were directing, but we still had a text group chain that we all kept in touch with each other and said good luck before the next person would go into shooting. And they really became 5 other people that I will take as my best friends going forward from this.
Sure. Tell me, with your film, did this start out as a Latino story that became a vampire story, or vice versa? Tell me about infusing those elements.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it definitely, I took obviously from personal life and experience, and I am Mexican American and bisexual. So a lot of the themes of the story of, struggling, feeling in between identities and not feeling enough in either world were definitely things I personally experienced and had to learn in life, that being a part of multiple identities doesn't make you a fraction of that identity, but it all compounds and makes you who you are. So I wanted Val to be Mexican and queer, but I wanted those elements of her to be celebrated and normalized and not the conflict of the story. So instead, I took this vehicle of, this monster world and vampire story to tell those themes. And the monster story in general has always been one I'm really drawn to, because I think it's a story of what it's like to be an outsider and be feared and misunderstood. And it felt like the perfect vehicle to take this journey with Val on.
Sure. Can I ask, if it's not too personal? I'm mixed race. My mother's Honduran and my father's was Polish Irish.
Oh, yes.
And that definitely seems like a big part, half vampire, half human. And so it actually, the actual, ethnic part is like a little bit in the back, because it's human instead. Tell me a little bit about, your upbringing, if that's not too personal to ask.
No, absolutely. That is, my story as well. I'm half, my mom's side is Mexican, my dad's side is white. And growing up, I had both of those cultures and elements, and, trying to figure out who I was amongst that and taking ownership of both of those. And it really added so much texture to the film of, when I finally decided on a vampire story, I thought about, like, man, what would my Mexican family be like as vampires? And it was so like basically what my family would be. My grandma is devoutly Catholic. She would still be devoutly Catholic, even if the holy water sizzled her skin. They'd still eat conchas and pan dulce. They'd just pour blood over it. They'd still make sure to eat it. And I think, a lot of times with genre stories or monster stories, culture isn't fully dived into, and there's so much richness in telling stories through a cultural lens that can relate to all of us.
Well, it's fascinating because it's maybe the most fantastical of the stories, but the one I'm most personally related to.
Oh, that's good.
So thank you so much for your time. The film is fantastic. Whatever you do next, I hope I get to talk to you about that too.
Oh, thank you so much, Zach. It's great chatting with you.